Stephanie, the French Nygma, with one of the people I say about is one of the pillars of the Nygma system, Eddie Edwards. I'm so happy to talk to you again. It's been a long time. And I think we have talked to each other like a good dozen of times.
Yeah, we I feel like we have a good relationship at this point. It's nice. It's
And
comforting
it's
to
been
know
a
that
long time. It's been a long
yeah,
time. And
it's
but I was
comforting.
watching. Yeah, it's good to see you back. Uh, it, Not on my TV for once. Yeah, it's been, I was, of course, Born for Glory. I was pretty sad that you were losing the tag team titles against
Yeah.
ABC and the Hardys. What are
You and
your
me both.
thoughts on that match? And who is the target now? The Hardys or still ABC?
You know, right now, I mean, I'm focused on Nic Nemeth, so I'm thinking I have to change. It's weird. I have to go back and forth to my focus. Right now. I gotta focus on Nic Nemeth in that world title, bring that back into the system. That's the goal right now. But then also another job. We got to take care of the Hardys. I mean, why not? Why can't I be a double champion? I don't have to pick one thing. I can go Nic Nemeth, win that world title. Me and Brian get those tag titles back from the Hardys. Bing, bang, boom. That's it.
I feel like the system is a very interesting faction. Um, you, Moose, JDC, I remain French, whatever happens. Brian Myers, who is an excellent, and of course, Alicia, who is. Um, how would you describe the alchemy of your faction? And what would you say a word maybe on each of the members of the faction?
Yeah, I think the the special thing about the system, us as a group, is that it's not just for wrestling. It's not just for TV. This is our real life. You know what I mean? We are best friends inside and outside the ring. And obviously, I'm with my wife every day of my life. So it's like when we travel together. We're traveling with Brian and JDC and Moose. We go together, and we were doing this even before we were put together as a group. So it was something that we wanted for a while. We wanted to be, on TV, wanted to be in wrestling together, and luckily it came together. And now we feel that we're in like a pretty special moment, a special time for us, because we are this true group of friends. So we feel like we can sit back and really enjoy the moment that we're in. That this is something special. Moose I've known for a long time, of course. We've traveled the world together. We've wrestled together. We fought each other. We worked alongside each other. Moose has been aside from our ups and downs, we have ups and downs, but he's a great friend. And honestly, if I want to say something about him wrestling wise, he is a freak athlete. He is an absolute freak of an athlete, and one of the best there is right now. Don't tell him I said that, but he is one of the best right now.
I wrote it. I wrote it. I wrote
no,
it.
and he's really worked so hard at his craft to elevate himself, and he's done that, whether it's his body, whether it's in the ring. He's gone out there and he's proved that he is one of the stars in our company and in wrestling as a whole. And then we go to JDC. JDC and me, we tagged together on the independent scene 20 years ago in Massachusetts.
Whoa.
Yes, we have known each other the longest out of anybody. Well, aside from my wife, I've probably known about the same. But we have known each other for a real long time, and it was great for me to see, his success outside of TNA, success in WWE. It was a great thing to be able to sit back and watch, somebody that I was on the Indies with get that level of success elsewhere, and then for him to come to TNA and not only be a part of TNA, but to be tagging again and doing six mans with them after all these years. It's so crazy in wrestling. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And it's great that we get to do it again after all these years. And Brian Myers, another one. Like it's funny because they've all been my friends for so long. You know what I mean? So, me and Brian, we would travel together, we would, hang out together, we would do things together, and we wanted to get in the situation, get in a faction together, and we're able to do it. And Brian, again, somebody that I've watched for many years. I've known him for years, but I've watched him succeed from afar as well in WWE, and just watching the way he hustles. If I had to describe Myers, I would say the hustle he has with the major bendies, the major pod, his live podcast. It's amazing to see. And honestly, the system as a whole has been very lucky that he's a part of our group, because these tracksuits, he's the one that gets them made. He comes up, he has these ideas for merch. He has these great ideas for whatnot and all this stuff. And he's kind of the leading factor. Him and Alicia behind the scenes are very, very strong and very helpful as far as merch for ourselves as a group, but also for the company as a whole. And then, my wife, my lovely, my beautiful bride, my ride or die, to be able to do all stuff on screen again with her, it's been amazing. And to see her growth over the past few years, just going out there, whether it's in ring, whether it's promos or pre-tapes, and the stuff she's been doing behind the scenes, it's awesome to see her succeed at this level. And I think that's what makes us as a group very special, is that it's real. It's not just for TV. This is real life.
That's a question I wanted to ask later, but I'm going to say now because I've watched Alicia on TV for a very long time. I know how good she is, how talented she is. I've seen him in the Independence on Wow, the Women of Wrestling, and I know how good and she is and a great woman she is. But I feel like on TNA, she, it's only right now that people are becoming aware of the fact that she's so good as a wrestler. It sounds crazy. What is your opinion about that?
Yeah, that's how wrestling goes. Sometimes, you never know when you want to be in the right place at the right time, and it just didn't happen, for Alicia yet, before, but now it's like the world has awoken. They open their eyes and they see what she's capable of, and I give credit to the company as well for giving her these opportunities. She gets an
Absolutely.
opportunity, and she would go out there and she would knock it out of the park. So then she would get another opportunity, and it goes hand in hand. They would give an opportunity, and she would go out there and deliver. So they work together, and I'm grateful that the company gave her a shot. And I'm very happy and proud of the fact that people are realizing how entertaining she is, not just as a wrestler, but as a personality as a whole. It's great to see, and to be a part of it is awesome.
I was telling you earlier that there's the pillars of the Nygma system. I mean, the three people that have always been there since I started writing on TNA. And there's you, there's Rosemary, and there's Moose. And the three of you are so important to me. And seeing Moose becoming X Division champion for the first time, 8 years after his TNA debut, it was magic. I love that moment. I love the guy. I love the wrestler. I love what. Uh, it was a great moment. How have you, how did you enjoy the moment at the time?
It was awesome. It's a great achievement for him, and I feel like that's just the start of what he's going to be able to do with the X Division Championship. He said on his own that he wants to make the X Division Championship, the most relevant, most important championship in our company, and I think that's a great goal to have. And I think if there's anybody capable of it, it is Moose. And to see his progression in the ring and outside the ring, it's been great to sit back and watch as a friend. And so to see him succeed, I knew it was just a matter of time before he got that X Division Championship. Once he had his sights on it, you knew he'd be able to do it, and he's gone out there and he did it.
Oh, and I've seen him like you evolve, change the physique, or his agility as a big man. It's
Yeah,
brilliant. I love the
he,
guy.
he's one of a kind. He really is.
I really is. Um, if you could add another member to the system, who could it be?
That's a tough question. You have to really earn your way into the system. Like I said, we all have a long, long history together. That's what makes us so close as a unit. So if we're going to accept somebody in, they have to prove that they are loyal as we all are. Right now, Tasha, she's formed an alliance with Alicia, and I like to say it's probationary. This is just the start to see how she does. There's no tracksuit yet for her, no ring ceremony for Tasha yet. But if she can prove that she is loyal to Alicia and loyal to the system above everything else, who knows? I think we're going to keep an eye out. We're not looking to jam somebody in, to crowbar somebody into the system, but we will be keeping an eye out. I'd like to say Leon Slater, he's got a heck of a future on him, so we might be keeping an eye on him. That's all. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember that time in Manchester. It was like 5 years ago now. Wow. You were just turning into this hardcore Eddie character. You remember just after the baseball bat accident? Um, from this guy, from the one of the Wolf to hardcore Eddie to Honor No More to the system, you have reinvented yourself constantly. Do you feel like, uh, as you've been in the business for like 20 to 23 years, it's the reason why you keep staying fresh and good in the business, deserve your place in the business.
Yeah, I think that's the key to longevity. You have to kind of reinvent yourself. And also, of course, with the baseball bat incident, I was
Oh my
forced to
God.
make a change. I was forced to make a change. Who knows if I would be, who I am or where I am today without that moment, as scary as it was, as, painful as it was. We really turned it into something, and that led me down this road, which I think has been very important for me to stay relevant, to stay, forced me to kind of stay on the top of my game is by, reinventing myself and finding things that I believe in. It was Honor No More at one time, and now it's the system. And I really can throw myself into this because I believe in what we're doing as a group, but also I believe in what we're doing as TNA. So it's important to me to stay relevant and to have longevity because I want to be able to be a part of our success. We've been chipping away at it for so long. I want to be a part of it. I want to be on the top of the mountain when we ascend to where we belong.
Before talking about TNA a little bit, after all, um, we see every week a very fruitful partnership between TNA and NXT. It's wonderful to see the companies working together. Would you like to say hi to NXT? And which wrestler would you like to compete against in their roster?
You
And
know,
don't
it's
even Page did it before, so
it's I wouldn't force it. I think if something happens, if something comes from it, I would definitely be a part of it and represent the system and represent TNA. I think it could be a cool moment, a cool interaction. But my focus is so much on TNA. It's hard to even look elsewhere or contemplate elsewhere. But I think the relationship has been fruitful for both sides. I think that's been important. Any type of working relationship, you want both sides to 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 have achievements from both sides. So I think that's been important and it's been successful. The only one that I would like to beat up would be Robert Stone. I feel like he would be fun to beat up.
oh, an old friend, if I
An
remember
old
well.
an
A
old
good old
friend.
friend.
Yes, I would say that would be fun. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, it's been a fantastic year. The coming back of the TNA name, it was so important, mostly because you signed with TNA 10 years ago. How have you lived this year under this new umbrella? this
Yeah,
good old umbrella, if I can say.
I think it's been great. It's been a great move. I feel like that helped the name change or the rebrand helped catapult us to kind of where we've been. It kind of started that momentum that we have right now. I think the fans wanted it for a while, for a long time, and I think the roster was ready for it. I think it was, I think we can, of course, now say it was the right idea, the right choice to rebrand back to TNA, and I think it's worked for a reason. I think people want to see TNA now, and also the roster's been the. I mean, I'd say the company as a whole. We've all been busting our asses for a long time, and it's nice to see some success come from that. And our TNA Plus app subscriptions have gone up, our live event crowds have gone up, our attendance everywhere has gone up, and that's such a group effort. It's not one thing. It's not just because of a name change. It's not the roster. It's everything together, and that's the beauty of TNA is that it's this whole group, this family atmosphere that wants the same thing, and we're all moving in the right direction together. We want it as a whole. It's not about one individual.
Yeah, it's been feel like people like just find out again back. I don't know how to say it. Oh my God, TNA is great, but TNA has
Yes.
always been great. Been writing about it for so long. I know it's great, and you've been there for 10 years. So, um, what makes this company so important to you? I imagine that you have offers from everyone, but you're a TNA guy. You have always been for the last 10 years and the years to come. What makes it so special to you?
It's been the journey of it all, and from day one, I was treated with respect and loyalty from the company from day one, and that's been through every regime change. I've always been treated very well by the company, and I've always wanted the company to succeed because me and Davey chose to come to TNA. We wanted to be a part of TNA. We came here for a reason. It's the same reason I'm still here today because I want to help this company succeed. I believe in what this company does for wrestling. I believe what they do for other wrestlers. The company gives chances to people that maybe haven't gotten the chance elsewhere or they haven't been given the ball elsewhere. But you come to TNA and you're going to have that freedom. You're going to get that opportunity. And I believe in that, giving people opportunities because I'm somebody who maybe shouldn't have gotten opportunities elsewhere or wouldn't have gotten opportunities, but I came to TNA and they gave me a chance to succeed. And I want to see that for everybody on a roster. And at this point, it's the journey of chipping away. And now we're starting to see some success that we deserve. And I want to be here. I want to be a part of it all. I want to be a staple. I want to be at the forefront of this company when we continue to move forward. And that's the goal to help make TNA, to bring us to the biggest platform we can and just open all the eyes of wrestling fans or fans who haven't tuned in yet to say this is what we are and this is who we are. We're TNA Wrestling and we're the best at what we do.
And the last question, one, Gary. I think you have many years in front of you. Do you feel like this is where you're gonna have your last match? That
That,
TNA, that your career will, when you will choose to come to stop your wrestling career, it will be in TNA.
that is my goal, and that always has been my goal.
Wow,
I want to
wonderful.
be here, and I've been here for a reason. And I want to continue to be here as long as possible in the ring, and even beyond that. So that is my goal.
And we love you for that. When you know that. No, I'm convinced. Remember what the first match I wrote about was the husband and wife versus husband and wife match. You remember? It was quite something.
Oh
But
yeah,
you have always been so important for
no,
me.
thank you. I
And
appreciate it.
I wish you the best. So that's
Thank you very much. I appreciate the
and it was a
support of the
pleasure to
company.
see you again and to talk to you again because I feel like we have always had a great connection. So
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.